So as we take a look at out of bounds situations, we're going to start with baseline out of bounds. And this first one is a staple of what the Pistons do. So normally this is a Cade Cunningham screen, Jeremy Grant right down the lane line. We've seen this a lot. So here's where I talk about execution. Marvin Bagley III should be on the weak side here. One, he's out of the way for Jeremy Grant to come down the lane line. Two, he's supposed to set a weak side, screen the screener. He should be right here screening on Cade Cunningham, coming to the back side, to the weak side. So you see where Grant's not able to get down this line, and then he ends up in the way, and also he's not there to set the weak side screen for Cade Cunningham. So that's where, again, you don't always know what's drawn up in the huddle, but it doesn't always end up being what you see on the court if a personnel messes it up. Here's screen the screener just the other way. So here, Cade's going to back screen first, getting Bagley III coming down to the weak side. And then Jeremy Grant's going to screen for Cade Cunningham to the corner. Normally, that's what it could look like. But you've seen this now a few times. Cade's going to immediately curl and screen for Jeremy Grant to go to the corner. So it's a screen the screener with the little wrinkle of that curl screen there. Hawks do a good job defending it. And then here we're just going to throw it in, and it's going to be the flex action. So the ball is going to get reversed to the bay, and then Jeremy Grant kind of has an option here. He can come along the baseline off the Joseph screen, or as Marvin Bagley III comes down, he could pop off Marvin Bagley. Here he goes along the baseline, which now Corey Joseph is going to use Marvin Bagley's screen. So that's flex action right there, and you will see that with the Pistons in multiple situations. Out baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds, just even in their offense. And then here, just a weak side staggered so they can get the ball and reverse it. And now you're setting a weak side staggered for Cade coming to the top. Again, not to single out Marvin Bagley III, but here it doesn't look like he realizes, like, if he catches Jaylen Brown on this screen right now, Cade Cunningham, like, this may be a wide open shot for him, but he doesn't look like he knew he was supposed to set that screen. Ends up being a little bit more contested. Not that Cade couldn't make that. Transition to sideline out of bounds. This is a staple for the Pistons. So the first one here is a staggered to the top of the key for Saddiq Bey. So he threw it in. Cade's going to get the first one. Stu gets the second one. This one, Saddiq Bey is going to drive it all the way in and get a bucket. We've seen him knock down that shot just coming off the screen. I like this little wrinkle. So earlier you saw Cade actually set this screen on Tatum. This time he's going to go to strong side. It's just going to be a single screen, and they're going to use Saddiq Bey's shooting to try to get a slip from Kelly Olynyk because they know the Boston Celtics switch. Now it's not executed and it ends up being a turnover, but I like the wrinkle. And then you'll see them also set up in this box set here to get the ball in. This time they're able to throw it to Marvin Bagley. Turns into straight isolation. Sound familiar? In the mid post. So Isaiah Livers, the inbounder, is just going to cut through to the weak side. And you're going to get this isolation right here for Bagley the third against the Hawks. Doesn't get anything, but you just see the action. So again, you kind of see the box set. They're going to get the ball in. And now they're going to get it to the weak side. So Corey Joseph's going to cut through. Livers kind of a block-to-block screen, trying to get Marvin Bagley III the post up right here. Now I've also seen this with Jeremy Grant in this spot, trying to get this mid-post isolation. I know that won't make people happy, but we've seen it. And then another wrinkle is Isaiah Livers coming out the backside off a couple screens here. So instead of just that weak side, just kind of spacing, they run a little elevator or staggered action out the back as well in that situation. So here we're going to see the ghost with the corner pin down. We saw this in the after timeout. So Kelly Olynyk, we get the screen from Livers for KO. He's going to ghost right there. And then Marvin Bagley is going to corner pin down for Isaiah Livers. Doesn't get anything, but that's another action now that they're running sideline out of bounds that we saw after timeouts and to start quarters. This may be my favorite one. So we've talked about the flex action, something they run. So here's kind of a flex action look. Corey Joseph going down the baseline. Jeremy Grant screen down for Cade, but now it's going to turn immediately into Spain pick and roll. So Grant's going to space to the corner. You get the ball screen. This is the Spain. Corey Joseph right here setting the screen for Bagley rolling to the rim, and then Kojo's going to pop. I'm sorry, the The clip is a little off right here, but you see it right there is that little exchange, and then you get Cade all the way to the rim on this one. So I just kind of like that, incorporating the sideline out of bounds into the flex, right into a Spain pick and roll. Just a lot of actions for the defense to guard. Now a couple lack of execution. So this is late in the game. You guys will notice this. Cade ends up knocking down these 2 free throws against the Hawks. But here, there's just no screen. Like, watch this clip through. I don't know that there's a single screen set. Everybody's just trying to post up their man. Nobody's really moved to get open. Nobody's slipping a screen. So, like, to me, I know as fans, it's like, what is drawn up? What is going on? Well, sometimes you got to execute it on the floor as well. Like right here, Saddiq Bey never gets a screen. If they're going to switch, then he should screen his own man. If they're going to switch, he should slip the screen. You see it on the weak side as well. And so, like, I want to highlight this too. I'm not always saying the designs are perfect. I'm not always saying they're right. I don't even know. I can't even say for sure that I know what the designs are 100%. I'm just saying sometimes it comes down to execution on the court as well. This is the one against the Bulls that really got people fired up. I still truly believe, again, I don't know, I'm not in the huddle, that Marvin Bagley is supposed to come up right here like he's going to set a ball screen for Corey Joseph to come to the middle of the floor. Corey Joseph would then do what he does, but it'd be a little bit more understanding, is he's going to refuse that ball screen to the baseline, and then Marvin Bagley, who now would be right here, is going to turn and come set a screen. We saw this if you watch the after timeouts in those clips. And you see Bagley still looking around. He's not ready here to set a screen for Cade Cunningham. Doesn't get a good one, and Cade isn't able to come off. Now, you did get some nice weak side action as we shift our focus to the weak side. So as Corey drives, this is a hammer screen to the weak side corner. So this is another option if Corey can get to the baseline. And Jeremy Grant does an amazing job here. The Bulls don't communicate it, flashing. So you kind of have 2 different options. And this one isn't executed well because Bagley the third doesn't do his job. This one isn't executed well because Kojo doesn't see it. I just wanted to highlight that just because it doesn't always look great on the court doesn't mean the design is completely wrong.